Hi YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Final Fantasy XII, and we finished off the last episode taking on an Esper, which we've now added to our collection, and we're going to continue today exactly the same place we left off. So we're going to interact with the Waystone. This is going to be a cutscene driven episode, but they're important cutscenes. So if you are following along with me in terms of the story, you might want to watch this in your own game, if in the sense that you're using this guide as a walkthrough. But if you are only following along and not playing along, then I do recommend you watch this next section and pay attention, as we're going to get some important bits of exposition at this point. So we're going to use the Empyrean Waystone here. I'm going to go ahead and touch the device.
Where is everyone?
Fear not, Princess of Dalmasca. We, Occuria, have chosen you, and you alone. Ashalia Banag and Dalmasca, we see your heart desires power, and power most holy shall we grant. Seek you the Sun-Cryst, slumbering star. In tower on distant shore, it dreams. The mother of all Nephesite, the source of its unending power. The Dynast King, his fallow shards, coarse trinkets cut from Sun-Cryst's light.
Such power exists?
In times that are long passed away, we thought to save this Evilise, and chose Wraithwall, the Dynast King. He took the sword and cut the Cryst. 3 shards he took from its gilt grasp, and so became the Dynast King. His words and deeds run through your veins.
That's why I was given it. The Sword of Kings.
The treaty held with kings of old is but a memory, cold and still. With you, we now shall treat anew, to cut a run for history's flow. Now take this sword, this treaty blade, Occurian seal, mark of your worth. Cut deep the Cryst, and seize your shards. Wield Dynast King's power. Destroy Vayne.
But Vayne? Vayne's an Occurian, a being like you.
Vayne is a heretic. The Nephesite is ours to give to chosen bearer, or to none. The heretic trespassed, and set the rose of knowledge in man's hand. With imitations they profane. It is anathema to us. We give you now the stone and task. Administer judgment. Destroy them all.
Judgment? Destroy them all? The Empire?
The hues ever skew history's weave. With haste, they move through 2 short lives. Driven to err by base desires. Toward waste, and wasting, on they run. Undying, we Occuria light the path for wayward sons of man. Oft did we pass judgment on them, so that Evilise might endure. Eternal, we are history's stewards, to set the course and keep it true. The chosen is our hand, Our fist. To let live some and crush the rest. Princess, you have been chosen. Take revenge against those who stole your kingdom. Fulfill your role as savior. Attain to your birthright.
Ash. What's with these Occuria? What gives them the right to tell you what to do?
Will you take revenge, as they ask?
Huh?
We could not see them, but we heard the Occuria speak. They may be gods, but we are the arbiters of our destiny. Your Highness, I'm against this. The Empire must pay, but destruction?
Does anyone know what happened to Dr. Sid? Wasn't he saying he'd be here?
He should have arrived by now.
And I should have realized by now. He's not coming. He laid out the bait, and we bit. Remember what he said? He wanted Ash to get the stone. He wanted that all along. That's why he flaunted his nethicite, and reeled us in with his stories about Vayne, all to bring Ash to the Occuria.
But wait, if we got a hold of the nethicite, wouldn't that be bad for the Empire?
Maybe he wants to see what happens when foes with nethicite collide. That'd be just like Dr. Sid.
I will search out the Sun-Cryst.
History is built by our hands. That's his favorite line. He'd never stand by and watch the Occuria's stones shape things. So, he was talking to Vayne all along. He wasn't mad at all then, was he?
Okay, so we get the Treaty Blade as part of the story, but we get a bunch more cutscenes as
sovereignty
well.
and make our amends with Lady Ash. It's the only way to avert war.
It is a war of necessity. Your Lady Ash herself is bent on it. She desires it above all else. She will not rest until her revenge is full wrought.
I fear you misread her intent. She would sooner shun war than embrace it.
You are young, Larsa.
And you presume beyond your ken.
Then let us look closer. Judge Gabranth. I would have you seek after the Lady Ash and judge whether she makes overtures of peace or war. Yours shall be the eyes of the Empire.
And should I espy war, I am to put her to the sword. Is that your wish, Excellency?
It will not come to that, I am sure. I have faith in her, faith in you both. On you, Gabranth, shall I wager all our fortunes.
As you will.
That so sweet a child could be your brother is hard to believe.
Larsa is as he should be.
What's that, Vayne? Ah, taken the bait already, have they? Splendid. The Occuria have given the princess her treaty blade.
The gods have chosen their scribe to write history as they deem fit. Yes, and she with fresh nethicite to aid her.
Bah, to hell with the Occuria and their stones. What good? A power that cannot be harnessed. Baubles best suited for study, no more.
We conquered 2 kingdoms that you might study these baubles.
Oh, I am grateful for the sacrifice. Without it, manufactured nethicite would have eluded us. An unrivaled weapon, I warrant you. Tell me, Vayne, have I not been an apt pupil?
My counsel did but guide your able hand. Through power of man, the stones did you perfect. Yes. So much accomplished in 6 fleeting years. Man's fervor o'er all obstacles prevailing.
Our lives are much too short. You undying might waste long centuries away, but we, I fear, cannot.
Just so. Had we more time, we might have availed ourselves of more prudent measures.
Your greatest work still lies before you. Not lightly will the Occuria allow you to wrest the reins of history from their grasp, back into the hands of man.
Indeed. What claim does Gabranth have on history's reins, seated on throne immortal, rent from time? For your ascendance, Vayne, I offer prayer. May you attain all that which is your due.
Attain it I shall. For too long have my deeds gone unrewarded.
In tower on distant shore dreams the Sun-Cryst. Do these words mean aught to you?
Didn't Reddas say he was going to follow some other course? Maybe you found out something that can help.
I'd rather stay out of that Sky Pirate's debt, thank you.
What's wrong with Reddas? I mean, if you can't trust your own kind, who can you trust?
You're an expert on pirating now, are you?
And finally, we get control back of our characters. I have to be honest, you know, sometimes the lip sync in this game is absolutely atrocious. I have to actually look away from the faces of those who are talking because it can be so distracting. But I don't have many criticisms for Final Fantasy XII, but I guess you've got to have a few, haven't you? And that's one of them for me. Right, so we're going to interact with the Tellurian Waystone here. And we're going to read the inscription. And then we're going to touch the device. And this is going to basically parry us back out. So we're here at the entrance once again, and we can make our way over to the orange crystal. We need to transport back over to the port of Balfonheim. So I'm going to go ahead and teleport now. Go the other way. And there's going to be a few bits we want to do here before we actually progress with the story, which we'll also do in a moment, don't worry. There's not a whole lot for us to do, but there's a few things. The first thing that I want to point out is that the shops have been upgraded in this area. So we're going to head into the magic shop first of all. Just here. The Quayside Magicry. And this place had some decent magics even before. But now we can purchase a Rise. Very useful. You'll be making use of that in your Gambits. Shock. Very powerful. And Gravigar as well. Also a nice magic to use. And if you don't have any of these other powerful magics, you didn't purchase them before for whatever reason, make sure you do so at this particular point. And we head over here. We can also head into some of the other shops, such as the weapon shop. You can see there's an objective marker on the bottom of the screen, so that's as far as the story is concerned. Okay, so I've bought a couple of bits and bobs, so some nice upgrades there in terms of weapons and armour. You can purchase armour, by the way, from the same shop. There's 2 merchants inside. And once we've gone down here, we're just going to follow the path all the way to the objective. And then there's going to be an NPC we'll have to speak to. And then we'll choose Enter the Manse. And we'll go on inside at this point for some more cutscenes and whatnot.
Ships in the water. Send fishing dories if need be, I care not. Glossair engines are as good to us as sky to a fish. Leave what boats have foundered. I want souls saved, not driftwood. Our armada ran afoul of bad water near the Reddas cataract. All engines stopped a sudden. Becalmed. Trouble with a mist thick as death, it seems. Those seas are yacht. I expected airship trouble, not a fleet foundering midst the waves. Tell me of what happened in Girovegon. From the lay of your eyes, I measure all did not go well. Cid. Was he false, as I feared?
Yes. But we may have caught a glimpse of his true intent. We may now know what it is that Cid searches for.
So the day-affected Nithosite was only a fragment? And these Occuria I know not and care to know even less.
If we strike the Sun-Cryst with the Sword of Kings, no new stone may be born. We say the Sun-Cryst is the source of all Nethosite's power. If we might break it, the Dusk Shard would be as a thing lifeless. As for the manufactured Nethosite, who can say?
There is another way. We used the Treaty Blade to cut a new stone from the Cryst. Use that to fight the Dusk Shard and the manufactured stones.
Would you like to know the best use of Nethosite? Will or nil, I'll tell you. You pick it up and throw it away.
Either way, we have to find the Sun-Cryst first, right? Don't we? Across the sea, and a tower on a distant shore. Reddas?
Familiar words, Vayne. I saw something of the sort written in some documents I chanced upon during my visit to Draklor. The Naldoan Sea, the Reddas Cataract, and the Pharos Lighthouse. I sent my fleet to fish out the truth behind these words, and caught trouble.
Then proof is ours. This lighthouse on the Naldoan Sea is the tower on the distant shore. The strong mist that becalmed your ships is a grimmer yet clearer sign than any we might hope for. The Sun-Cryst is there.
All well and good, but how do we get there? Those seas are in yacht, as I recall.
Try putting this one in your ship. 'Tis a skystone made to resist yacht.
More spoils from the Draklor labs, is it? Why not use it yourself?
That's just the thing. My ship's a Bergerben model, it will not work. But, should it fit the Strahl, she'll fly in yacht. Lady Ashe, I would accompany your highness, if you do not object.
I am in your care. But tell me one thing. Why do so much for us?
The Nabudis Deadlands.
Nabudis was your home?
Nay, but a memory forever burned in my heart.
Right, so we gain a guest party here, and a particularly useful guest party member as well at that. So Pharos is our next destination. And basically we can now fly to the story destinations on the airship. So basically we need to head to the aerodome and then select to fly to the Reddas Cataract in order to continue on with the story. But I'll tell you what, we've basically got access now to a whole bunch of side quests and content, and not only that, but we have Reddas to help us along the way, and we're going to be making good use of him, because not only is he a fourth member of the active party, but he's really useful as well, as I mentioned, and he's got some really good gambits and abilities up his sleeve. So I'm just going to head back to the save point here, and I'm going to show you some good gambits you can use on Reddas, some generic gambits that are going to help you on your way. He's basically a bit of a white healer, white mage healer, along with being able to do some good damage to the foes as well. Right, so if we head down to his Gambits here, I'm just going to see his equipment actually. Okay, we can't change equipment, I knew that, but I didn't know if we could see it, I thought we could. Anyway, Gambits. We're going to get rid of most of this and just reorganise it. This ally any arise is going to be very, very useful. Arise resurrects a character with full health. And we're also going to... Serum is, by the way, quite useful if you don't use ribbons and what have you. But I'm also going to just give him a Phoenix down Gambit. There we go. And that's for the times where he's going to run out of MP, so we'll put that below Arise, so he won't cast Phoenix down while he has MP. He'll do Arise in those situations. And we could also give him some healing as well. At the moment he's got self HP plus 30%, we'll change that, but for now we're going to go for probably 30%, 20%, no, not MP, my mistake, HP. And we're going to give him X potion. I do need to buy some X potions, but we've got plenty of money so we can do that. So he's going to be doing some decent backup healing as well. And we're going to be going for foe. Lowest health attack. Pretty standard stuff. Get rid of that. We can probably replace those with other things as well. And you should note as well that he also has the Remedy Law 1 license. So you can get him removing Blind, Poison, Silence and Slow with a Remedy Gambit if you want to. And you can also give him other status removing effects such as Cronus Tears on Gambits to remove Stop. And other bits and so on. So we're going to keep it at that, I think. Turn these off. And he should do nicely. That's a generic setup, obviously you can change things around for specific battles. But that's going to keep him, you know, as a big, big bonus really for some of the fights and challenges that we have coming up. That said, we're going to be holding off on continuing with the story for quite a while now. What you might want to do at this point actually is create a new save file. And then, because we've got basically the final dungeon coming up, you know, the last few areas of the game in terms of the story, and there's going to be so much side content which is now available to us that it's up to you whether you want to create a separate save file, and then when you want to complete the story, you can go ahead and do that on your you know, save file that you make, so that you're not overpowered to do that, because you're going to be gaining a lot of good items, extra experience that is going to help you on your way to completing the side content. But for the story, you only really need to be about level 40 to 45 in order to do that, otherwise you're going to overpower it. And also as well, once you've completed the story and the game is complete, the New Game Plus options don't actually account for the fact you've completed the game. I know that sounds strange, but what I mean by that is there's no extra content to unlock once you've killed the final bosses of Final Fantasy XII. The game basically is reloaded from the save point before that, as if you hadn't killed them. So you're not going to be unlocking anything else by doing so. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm going to finish off here for today, guys, and then we're going to crack on with that optional content starting next time. So thanks for joining me today. I hope this video has been enjoyable for you. If it has, don't forget to hit the like button and come back and join me again soon for more Zodiac Age.